Hello, my name is Abigail and today I am going to be using these markers that I bought from Walmart. Okay, I cannot remember the price of them, but I will link them down below. But they are alcohol markers. They've got a bullet nib and a chisel nib, and I am going to use them to color this little sketch that I did. It's a magical girl, but I blew it up, inked it on my iPad, and printed it out on some Express It blending card. But first, let's use this blank space here and let's do some swatches before we get started. Goodness, they are really in there. Ooh, I like them. Okay. I mean, so far so good, right? They are a triangle, which I like. Ooh, I like this color. It's not, it says orange number 4 on it. And while it draws a little orange, this does not look very orange. Or I don't know, who knows? Maybe it does on camera. Ooh, that is very golden. Yellow 11. So there were other sets at the Walmart. I don't recall, not gonna lie, I picked these up like, cat hair. I picked these up like a couple months ago, maybe now. That's why I can't remember how much they were. And I don't know what that crud is, but can't remember how much they were. And I think there was like a gray set. This is a pretty green. There was like a gray set, a grayscale set, and there might have been a bigger set too. I cannot remember, but I know not all Walmarts in person carry the same stuff. And because I know like the Walmart in my town, it's not a super big town. They don't carry a lot of this stuff. But I went to like the next town over, and that's a pretty big Walmart, and it's a bigger city. So they had a lot of stuff that I didn't have here. Ooh, not gonna lie, I am quite impressed so far. I thought I wasn't going to be. I thought they were gonna be a little disappointing. And I mean, there's still time to disappoint, but off to a great start so far. This does not look very promising. Yeah, a little yellowish. Kind of a poopy brown, huh? Ooh. Very dark. I like that. Dang. And a black, which we all love a good black. And it did, which I don't know. Did I know that? I guess I did know that. That it had a colorless blender, huh? Which I'm not sure. I don't really use very often, but okay, it works. You can see it pushing away the other inks, but now the skin tone is definitely where I am concerned. There's not a whole lot for skin, but we will see, huh? Yeah, okay. I'm not sure we're gonna get the nicest of skin tones, but I did a little experimenting. And now let's think of some colors. So I definitely was originally going to lean into these colors like quite a bit, maybe more the bluish and the yellows. So we're gonna do some testing over here before we move to the big piece, just to see if we like some of the colors. It's a little hard to see the details right now, but I am not having a bad time though with them. I'm quite enjoying them, I'd say, so far. I mean, obviously you can tell I haven't really done a whole lot, but they seem to be, I don't know, they blend quite nice. I mean, obviously keeping in mind now I just added that pink and it went a little dark, but I don't know, not bad. Maybe I definitely think I'd have added the pink in a little earlier before it gets super dark, but because we don't want to lose all of the details in there. Okay, I think I am liking the colors so far. I am definitely not a planner. I'm a bit of a winger. I just like to wing it. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Now I'm nervous, but let's go. I hate it. I am 5 minutes in, not even, and already I don't like it. All right, time to move on. Okay, from here on out, I will be doing a voiceover. So, like I said, I started with this little color. I don't remember what it's called, honestly, but it was really fun. I don't know. So I had tried cheap alcohol markers from Walmart before, and I did not really care for them. I felt like they were harder to use, and maybe, I can't remember if I used them on the Express It blending card or not, but these ones, I just felt like they blended really well. And they were, like I said, they're quite fun actually. And the skin tone, I tried layering this color, the orange color, and then this color again, because they like did but didn't blend. They really did like push each other when you layered them. So when I put the orange on top of this, it really like made it really, really orangey because it's pushed away all the brown. But like I said, I think I had to move on from the face because it was just getting a little messy. But you see, I color over it with this orange and it just, it really lightens up. So then I have to go over it again. But yeah, I loved this piece. I actually was going to originally include the clip of me inking it on my iPad, but this video is long enough as it is, so I don't think it needs it. And yeah, so I'm just not going to. I think I will include it because since I liked this piece so much, I actually think I am going to color it again in Copic markers to compare, because these ones are actually really nice. And I feel like I actually enjoyed coloring with these so much that I want to see how my Copic markers will hold up. So, and I think I'll include that clip in the Copic video because it doesn't usually take me as long to color Copic things. I'm kind of a fast colorer, and I won't have to test the Copic markers because I already know what they look like and I've already used them a million times. So anyway, so look out for that. I think that will be in a couple weeks. I think I have a redraw video planned for next week, so that'll be fun. I like redrawing things. And the color scheme for these blues honestly blew my mind. Like, I did not have high hopes for these colors, and they're way awesome. The blue, the fact that they had a light blue and a light green, and they were actually quite light. I feel like usually the problem you run into with a bit of the cheaper markers is that they don't have very great color variety. And I get it, this is a bit of like the primary pack, like it really does only have your standard issue rainbow colors, but like that green and the lighter green and the lighter blue, they were beautiful. I loved it, and I can't wait to do more. I think I'm gonna do more things with just this color set. I think I will introduce though some other markers for the skin, because it's really a bummer that I can really only get 2 skin tones out of it, a dark and darker, and they're not even really, like, there's nothing else to blend, so they don't look as natural. But whatever, I might do a whole series of magical girls with just this because I really want to use that green. But like, look at that blue, it's delicious. It's very yummy, and I love blue and yellow together, so it was very fun to have that like ultraviolet blue and this really like fun blue, like powder blue almost, and the yellow and orange. Ooh, which is so good. This is I've been in a bit of a slump lately, I feel like, and to have this turn out so well and on a cheap marker video, come on, put me in a good mood. Been in a good mood today. My friend and I are also planning on doing like a craft vendor fair in the fall, and I've never done one of those before, so I am super excited about it. Like, nervous but excited. Gonna do some fun stuff. So now I am coloring the sleeves. So as you can see, you can still see her arm through the sleeves. So because these don't layer as nice, I'm gonna do this little thing where it's like I color the skin tone, but it's kind of doesn't cover all of it, like where the lines are of the sleeve I didn't color, so then I just color over that in the blue, so it kind of shines through, so it looks sheer. I don't know if it's the best way to go about it, but it's the way that I do, so it like reads as being sheer. Now this blue though, it's so lovely. You cannot look at this blue and tell me that it's not lovely. God, I love it. And the blue and the stars, it's good. And there I'm doing, because the sleeve overlaps there a little bit, I am doing that technique again. And just because though these do like a Copics layer too, you know, like where you, if you color over it a second time, it gets darker. I feel like these were more so a little bit, so I did try to be careful on where I colored over things. And so I did color a little bit more in sections, which was kind of the reason I broke things up into like smaller sections, so I could color section by section instead of having like a bigger gap of like things to fill in, so that way in case they were a little splotchier, I wasn't trying to blend and like go over this big giant section to try to make it look smooth like a million times. But I think it went really great. Like I said, I probably could have gone over some things again just to darken it a bit to make it a bit more even, because like the tone on her face is so much smoother than like the rest of the drawing, and that's because I went over it so many times. But I was a little bit of a chicken and I didn't want to ruin how light the color was. Like I just didn't want it getting too dark, since I wanted there to still be some contrast between her skin and her like dress. I wanted it to stay bright because she is a magical girl, so I just was afraid if I went over it too many times it would start getting dark. But I definitely recommend these markers for beginners especially, but honestly anybody who wants to have fun and kind of use like an art supply you're familiar with, but one that's maybe not your fancy ones, because like then there's less pressure. Like that's how I feel like I felt with these. They are alcohol markers, which is something I'm very familiar with, but I have not done traditional art in a while, so I felt a little rusty. But so these were a fun way to use alcohol markers without the pressure of being good. But yeah, so I recommend these to honestly anybody who wants to try them. They weren't too expensive, and they work great, honestly. I think I'm gonna look to see if I can find any more of these in like a bigger pack or something, or if they have like a skin tone pack, because I think this pack, skin tone pack and a gray pack, if they have that, phenomenal, honestly. And even then, just pick up some colored pencils for the skin and just buy these if you want. But like I think a lighter gray would have been great to try to, you know, help, because like the light blue, I didn't have anything light enough to try to blend with that. So like this, the darker blue, I was able to use this purple to push the shadows a bit more and blend that into it. So just like see, look at that, it blended out really nice. But the darker blue is just so much darker than that light blue that it would have just, I don't think it would have blended the best. So I think like a light gray would have been awesome to have to help out with that. But yeah, no, it's awesome. Like it's just great. Like I had a fun time. I've said that a million times. I do wish maybe that the light blue had been a little lighter, or that there was another lighter color, because like her stockings are white, but I couldn't get anything to be, excuse me, I keep yawning, I'm tired. I'm actually voiceovering this at like 11 p.m, so I'm tired as fuck. But yeah, here I am detailing the gold. There I colored out a line, but I'm doing the detailing in the gold. I'm adding that orange in it to give all the gold thing, like stripes on her and stuff, the trim and the stars, to give them more dimension. But back to talking about the stockings quick. I just feel like there wasn't a color light enough to shade white. I did try a bit of like the tip to tip method, and it just was not working, so I just ditched it and was done. And here I did coloring her little magical wand. I hadn't thought that far ahead, but this was so fun. I decided to blend it down the shaft of the of the wand and stuff. And then because there wasn't a white, like a color light enough to shade white, I started trying to avoid white. Like some of the things on the dress that I was going to leave white, I colored in instead. And I probably shouldn't have done that because there was still the lace and there was still the stocking, so I might as well have just left some things white. So I did like color those little frills on the wand blue. I should have just left them. But yeah, so there I am shading a bit more on the face with the same color as before. I added her little lipstick
And here I thought I'd try to add a little bit more dimension and put that blue as a shadow, but it pushed away the ink and made it too light. So then I went in with the dark blue and did the shadows that way. And I thought it was much, much better. And it blended out so cute. Oh, she's so adorable. But yeah, so for the skin then too, I didn't want everything, like her skin, to get too dark near the blue. Like I just didn't want things to get muddy. So I did finish shading most of it with the same color as the everything else, you know. I definitely think I could have used the blue like I used up by her neck for like the legs and the arms and stuff, and I think it would have looked fine. Like I said, just the first time I try things, I get nervous because I'm not comfortable with them, obviously. So I'm afraid of how they'll react, and I didn't, especially this late in the piece. I would hate to do something to fuck it up now. Like, ugh, that's like my worst nightmare. To be almost done with something, and you do something to completely ruin it right at the last second. Ugh. You know, because you guys are only 20 minutes into this video. At this point, I've sunk an hour into this, and I would be upset, which is why this upset me so much when I'm here trying to do the tip-to-tip method. It wasn't transferring that well, and when it did, it laid the color down immediately, and then it faded away, and then I couldn't get it to blend out very nice. So like I said, I ended up saying fuck it, and just got over it. I tried coloring the color of the Splendor down first, kind of like wetting the paper in hopes that would spread, but it didn't work. So I tried valiantly, but it did not work. So if I could do something to fix, like touch this piece up that wasn't with these markers, it would definitely be using a light blue Copic or a light colored pencil to shade the stockings, because then compared to the rest of it, they looked a little flat. But yeah, I did end up using as a, wow, apparently I'm not doing anything here, huh? But I did end up using a white gel pen at the end to add details, because I do that with everything, and I have owned a white gel pen since I've owned markers. So I can't remember what video I watched. Back when Juicy Ink actually used the channel Juicy Ink, she used Copics and a Render sketchbook and Jelly Roll gel pens, or Uniball Signos, I can't remember, one of those. And I went and I bought those when I bought my first Copics, which were pink, blue, and a yellow maybe? I know the pink and the blue for sure, but anyway. So that does not count as a different marker. It counts. Just like as if I were to ink the piece, the ink pen doesn't come with it, so whatever. But I added the little highlights in her eyes and her hair and on the stars, and I gave her little like star freckles. It's not original, but it's cute. And details on the gold then to make it look shiny, and the white gel pen always brings the whole piece together. And it just, ooh, I love coloring white highlights on the ribbons, and I do think if I could do this again, I'd probably make her hair a little darker. I was afraid to introduce black, because whenever you introduce black, like the line art is black, so you have to be very careful. But I think the darker hair, the higher contrast would have looked better. And I did more stars all over the little blue part of her dress, because she is a magical girl. You cannot have too many white highlights and stars and sparkles on a magical girl. So anyway, there she is, pretty much done. You will hear my final thoughts in a couple seconds.
Okay, so final thoughts. I definitely actually really liked these. This was a lot of fun, and the colors are surprisingly not as terrible as I thought they were, or as I was originally thinking they might be. Their browns are quite lovely. This one is a little gross, kind of almost a little greeny like. So it's not the best skin tone, but it's definitely not like, I feel like a lot of times they'll only put like this darkish brown, and it's like, Well, that's not a lot to work with now, is it? But this was actually quite nice. Now, they don't have any lighter skin tones, but I do think they make more because, I don't know, those don't exactly look like the colors that were included in this. So I definitely think there are more sets. But no, I love the blue. This was actually just a lot of fun, and she's really cute. And I think I might try these again, but maybe, you know, try to use more of like the greens and the red. Maybe I'll do a holiday one with these. But yeah, so I definitely think if I had to rate these out of 10, I definitely probably give them like a solid 7 or 8. They are a little fat, I would say. I like the triangle shape. They don't roll as much. Like they stop like that. But they're kind of chunky, so my hand was kind of cramping. But and I don't like that there's not a line. You get kind of used to, with the Copics, having a line that tells you what side is what. There's not really. There's these little markings here that tell you that this is the bullet nib and this is the chisel nib. But that's not, you know, they're not always sitting like that, so it's hard to see. So, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like what you saw, please feel free to check out the rest of my channel, like, subscribe, I don't know, maybe leave a comment on what you thought, and keep an eye out for my next video. Bye!